The overcast sky causes him to snap on the Firebird's headlights. Even before reaching the on-ramp, he is traveling 60 miles per hour. Sewed between his legs is a cold can of Budweiser that stains the crotch of his tight tan slacks. Drums pound from the tape deck. His long, dirty hair trails the wind like seaweed. The cobra tattoo on his left bicep glows with a peculiar iridescence. He hits the interstate doing 71 miles per hour. A VW bug makes a terrified room for him. He pulls the bud from between his legs and raises it to his thin mouth. He's doing 77 now. As he noses out his sports car with a smug-looking driver who has a good sense to glower but nothing more. The drums are louder.
From her backpack, she takes a granola bar and the last quarter of an apple that is now spoiled-looking. She huddles in the corner of an interstate rest stop that smells woody from the logs on the roof. She can smell the rain that is about to start. She wishes, but only briefly, that she were back home, in her room, with her mother, shouting up the stairway that dinner is ready. But she needs to teach them a lesson. The lesson that, at 15, she's perfectly capable of running her own life, with no interference from them. She hopes this little surprise absence will make them more reasonable where her freedom is concerned. She doesn't think of it as running away, merely proving a point. God, but it's cold. God, but it's empty out here. Cars and trucks and vans rush by, seeming important and aloof. She wishes she were inside a warm car, with a hamburger in one hand and a can of soda in the other, with some good music on the radio. The apple tastes like hell. She hopes her parents are scared. They deserve to be.
On the horizon, to the west, he can see the rain start. He supposed the farmers need it, at least that's what people say whenever it rains in these parts. The farmers need it. The drums have died, his saxophone has replaced them. Drums give him energy, a high. Saxophones make him Morse. He hits a clean 80 miles per hour. Dark, quick eyes checking for highway patrol cars. He hopes the speed will stop him from thinking about the priest. He rubs the cobra on his arm. He opens a fresh can of bud. He thought the priest would be more sympathetic. All the priest could say is you better call the police. He's traveling at 84 miles per hour. He can smell the spring grass on the wind, even at this speed. He thought the priest would be a hell lot nicer than he was. Why do you go on the interstate? The priest had asked. You better call the police. The priest wasn't even sympathetic about him sending flowers and visiting the funeral home, which he'd done 3 out of 5 times after he'd gone out on the interstate. The hell to the priest. He couldn't do anything about it. Nothing. Payton wishes the saxophone would stop.
She sits inside the jar with the lid closed, trying to get warm again. She thought public rest stops were usually busy. There hasn't been anybody along here for 20 minutes. All the cars and trucks sound far away. The rain, however, is near, thrumming on the roof. On her way inside, she had passed a payphone. She'd stared at it for a long time, even extended a hand, as if to touch it. But no, the game isn't over yet. And anyway, all this misery will only make her story better when she tells her 10th grade girlfriends. Brave Kim. Poor Kim. She has to move now. Back on the macadam along the interstate. Get a ride before it's full dark. God, is she going to have some good stories to tell.
Sometimes the cobra gets sore. The jerk who put it on his arm was stoned at the time. At first there had been an infection. Now he rubs the cobra, as if it needs to be fed. The saxophone solo was over now. The drums are back. He feels young, strong, invincible. To hell with the priest. It is then that he sees a shape began to materialize along the edge of the interstate. Through the gloom, the rain, hitchhiker, young girl, Christ.
She watches the car pull off the road, 50 yards past her. Immediately, she begins to run. She wishes she'd been able to get a glimpse of the driver. All the other drivers she'd been able to check out before getting inside. But it's dark, and she's soaked from the rain. For some reason, she thinks of the payphone, of almost lifting up the receiver, of almost making the call. She's at the car now, her slender hand on the door handle. As she opens the door, she hears drums. Very loud drums.